Yeah, rock on.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the September 17th BOCC meeting. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First thing on our agenda are minutes from our last meeting. Gentlemen, any additions or corrections?
I see some corrections floating around. Did we get those?
I did not get them back from Melinda.
Okay, all right,
I sent them to her last night, but I didn't get them back.
all right, I understand.
Again?
Yeah.
I move to approve the proceedings of the Board of County Commissioners for Montezuma County for Tuesday, September 10th, 2024 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proceedings of the Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, September 10th, 2024. Is there any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, planning, come on down.
Short and sweet today.
Looks like we just have some Mylars.
We just have two to sign. One is the Jones Subdivision Amendment for adding the another lot, and the White Subdivision Amendment. They changed access to Lot 2 with the frontage road along the highway with CDOT approval.
All right, roll them out and we'll come down and sign those.
That's all I got for this morning.
That's it?
Short and sweet.
Nothing else? No
Ready to
other
roll.
items? All right. Well,
All right.
very good.
Thanks.
Here it comes.
So you can make it short and sweet once in a while. All right. Public comment, I'll just look out there before I even go through this. Any public comment today? Okay. Well, then we're gonna bypass that. And we will jump on into some unfinished business. Yesterday in our workshop, we had a letter of support presented to us from a
Your labs.
Songstad, is that how you say the name, Mr. Songstad? I'm not really 100% sure, but basically a letter of support for Hewer Labs for bringing in some new technology to our region. This letter of support doesn't tie us to anything. It's just basically a letter of support to the USDA. So questions on that, gentlemen? Okay.
I would so move we sign the letter of support for David Songstad to go to the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to sign the letter of support for Mr. Songstad as it relates to the USDA. It was for housing. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
As for housing to
Affordable.
affordable housing, but to build housing with
3D printers.
3D printers and robotics.
Okay, next up, Robert, do you want to go through these? We had two grants submitted yesterday, application forms. First was for a daycare grant for the sheriff's office. Basically, it's a reimbursement of up to $90,000 for the 7 to 8 employees that do or may need assistance out there. This is a one-time grant, and it would be from April to March of 25 through 26.
Correct. And this grant, the idea behind this investing in our future grant program is to develop programs that can help retain employees and thus save communities money. So that's why the focus here is on childcare. We know that that's an issue in our community and specifically for the sheriff's office. So the sheriff's office would like to apply for this grant for $90,000 to get reimbursement for childcare expenses for their employees.
Okay, any other questions? All right.
I move to sign this Montezuma County grant application submission form with the project title Investing in Our Future from the Office of Adult and Juvenile Justice Assistance with no cash max.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded to sign the Montezuma County grant application submission form for the sheriff's office for reimbursement of $90,000 for investing in our future. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we also have another one, which was jail-based behavioral service grant, which was an amendment decision. This was just to add, I believe it was a $15,000.
There are additional funds in the program, and this is to add about $15,000 to Montezuma County's grant and to sign a contract amendment to that effect.
And then, since this is an amendment, is that coming via DocuSign, or will that be?
I think so, but I'm not 100% certain on that from Wanda. But I will find out whether it's either through DocuSign or a regular signature and make sure that you get that.
Okay. Any other questions?
So
on this one?
what I would recommend doing is just sign the hard copy for the official county record, and then in your motion just include that there's an authorization for the chairman to sign the DocuSign document if that's the format it's in.
Okay. Good?
Yeah.
All right,
Go ahead, Joe.
Okay. I move to go ahead and sign a contract amendment number 3 for the jail-based behavior services grant amendment decision, and to authorize the signing of the change on DocuSign.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept contract amendment number 3 to the jail-based behavioral services grant. And then also the chairman to sign the DocuSign if and when it appears. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Just real quick, Commissioner, I just got notified it will not be a DocuSign.
Okay.
Okay. Well, then it's signed. There you go. Because sometimes these things come early, they come late. Kind of hard to keep up with them. So, all right, very good. All right, thank you. That's all for that. Mr. Spratlin, come on down.
Morning, Commissioner.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, Jerry. Mr. Anderson. So, all
I'll let you put your glasses on before we even start. Go ahead.
right. Like me to give a
So-
summary, or?
This is basically a decision as it's related to the generator installation bids. We did open last week. We had five, I believe it was 5 bids. We did have an apparent low bidder of 110,000. I'm going off my memory, 500. We did have the staff review them to make sure that the bids were going to be held for the 5 months or 4 to 5 months, basically for the generators to get here. That was revealed yesterday that the company would hold that. But we were $38,000 over. Basically, you were asking for another $40,000. The additional match was $37,416, which the ask was to put in the 2025 budget, $40,000 more because they wouldn't be here until after the first of the year. We did, as a finance committee, meet yesterday as soon as that meeting was over, because we have not spent what was allocated in this year's budget out of capital. We can move that and move it over. Like Commissioner Lindsay said, if we don't get this done now, it's just going to get more expensive down the road, and we probably won't be able to do it. So the money is found. We do have it. We'll just move it from what we didn't spend this year to capital next year. And that 40,000 will be able to be moved into there. So I think that was your concern too, Ian, is that we didn't want to sign or commit anything if we didn't have those funds available. After the meeting, we did look into that, and we can just roll those over. So any other
Well,
questions?
And so in terms of how you guys are going to do this logistically, I mean, the money's in this year's budget. It sounds like it's not going to be spent out of this year's budget. Next year's budget still hasn't been finalized.
Mm-mm.
And so I don't, I mean, if you're intending to roll that money over and then spend it out of next year's budget, that's fine. But I think you have to wait until that next year's budget is finalized before you approve allocation of money out of next year's budget. Does that make sense?
Correct. And I think it is. I think the question that we were looking at yesterday was just to see, because our first question was, where do we find the funds? So we won't spend what we had put in that capital item this year. We'll save it and move it to next year. So as far as signing anything today, I think what you're saying is we can't sign it because that budget hasn't been finalized.
That's right. I mean, at this point, we don't want to commit funds from next year's budget because next year's budget hasn't been finalized.
So then how do we proceed with securing the,
Can you make a payment out of this year's budget up front? I mean, because the money's in, as I understand it, the money's in this year's budget, correct?
Yeah,
Correct.
I think we can.
yeah,
Yeah, we can just make that payment this year because we've got plenty that we saved for the capital in this building.
Yeah. So yes, the answer is yes.
Well, that's what I would suggest authorizing then. I mean, assuming you've got the budgetary line item and the money in this year's budget, I would suggest spending it this year, assuming that works for Mr. Spratland and Mr. Dobry's purposes.
It
So-
probably wouldn't be spent until the end of the year as far as,
Well, I don't know that you would want to pay the full contract before the project is completed,
Well, we
would be
wouldn't-
the
We
issue
wouldn't
there,
be,
yeah.
but we could pay that part that we're short
But
on
the-
your deal.
But the money is allocated in the capital budget this year already, and is available to pay it, whether it's paid this year or next year. And then the intent would be to include it in next year's budget as a rollover capital item that wasn't spent. So the money's already out. The money's already been allocated. It is already budgeted for the capital program.
Reallocated,
So
yeah.
it's being reallocated, exactly.
What you need today is authorization to go ahead and accept the bid from this company
I think
and
that's all
expend
we
the
need.
funds?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that's all we
because
need.
the concern that we have is, it's a 90-day quote,
Right.
and I'd hate to wait till the last minute in January to say, yeah, we accept it. He has given us written information saying he's willing to hold it, but my concern is just get this signed off because we have the fund, roll it over now, or utilize the money that we have now. And then at least we can sign this bid and move forward. I know the budget committee hasn't finalized any budget for next year.
And we won't
Right.
accept the
That's-
budget until December.
Yeah.
That's my concern with this whole thing is, I mean, we're looking at committing ourselves to spending next year when we don't have money in next year's budget yet to spend. And I mean, I understand that there's an intention to do that next year, but we haven't finalized that yet.
But you're committing to spend it this year in this year's budget with money that has already been budgeted. And I don't see that would be any different than a project that due to a delay crosses the year, and you're still committed to spend the money, but you've already committed and allocated to spend that money in the 2024 budget.
It's kind of like signing that notice of intent that we signed for the first amount. That was set up for, 3 years, 4 years? So, same kind of principle. If we accept it now, we're committing to that grant funding until the end of December 26. So,
I'm not sure, would it be beneficial to reach out to this guy and see if he would wait another 30 to 60 days after we finalize the budget? Would that be?
He's got to have money in hand to order these.
yeah, and he may ask for some money, like Commissioner Copenhaver said, that we were talking about that yesterday. If he did need some funding, we have it in there now. He wouldn't ask for the whole amount. There were some upfront costs that
He
we were
didn't,
talking
it
about.
wasn't in his proposal.
Right,
Yeah, there wasn't.
yeah,
And
so we don't
Typically, we
anticipate
don't
it.
pay any money up front.
No,
I mean, when you get it and you actually have parts on the ground that we can
right.
quantify, then we pay for what's on the ground, but they don't necessarily have to be installed, but we don't pay for things up front.
Yeah, we didn't, well, misspoke, wasn't paying up front. If we sign for the bid, then he starts buying the items that he needs. There may
Then
be
you
a
can pay.
reimbursement coming
We can pay
in.
for it.
Right.
Once they're
And that could happen this year.
stored.
Yeah. I mean, we're pushing up against winter.
So
Yeah.
basically, is all we need is that we accept and sign his proposal for the installation. That's really,
Pretty much it, yeah,
That's it.
because we've already done the generators and transfer switch, so.
You have that, can you bring that up, Travis? The proposal for installation.
It
That's
was
what we're doing,
100
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
110, 635, and that was
When we bought the
Expedia.
generator.
Expedia.
Expedia.
When is it anticipated that he's going to start doing this? I mean, my concern is we're going to get into 2025, and I mean, are we talking 2 months into 2025, 3 months into 2025? Now we're talking about a 2024 budget that we're pulling money out of to pay something that's going to be deep into
Well,
2025.
just think of it as we're reallocating it. So we're not gonna spend the money that we had in the capital for what it was gonna go for. We're going to shift it, reallocate it. Because Dustin said that he had to run the conduits prior to him doing the concrete work, so they were in the middle of the cabinet. The generators won't be here for another 4 to 5 months. But the preparation prior to them getting here has to be done. So I don't know if that's,
The project's beginning in 2024. The actual construction of the project is beginning in 2024, but will not be completed.
until
Until
25, when the
2025.
generators get here. So everything that they're doing, the installation, the conduits, getting the conduits placed, the concrete around the pad, the way I understood it, the way you explained it yesterday, and the generators will come after the first of the year and then be placed on the pad, and then they'll pull, the connections will be made at that point in time.
Okay.
That's what, the way I understood it yesterday.
Yes, that's correct.
But my understanding was that the concern about waiting to just put it in the 2025 budget was that the commissioners there had not been an approval or an allocation of money
Correct.
that was being spent. But because the money is available in the 2024 budget, they can approve this bid with the intent to spend that money that is already allocated and has been budgeted already in the 2024 budget, and then that will move forward into the 2025 budget if it is not currently spent. Correct. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would so move we accept the bid from Expedia for the installation of generators in the amount of $110,000, $635.32.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the bid from Expedia for the generator installation, in the amount of $110,635.32. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, Robert, I don't think this was Kelly's, so the next one is gonna be,
Thank you, gentlemen.
thank you. Hey, I was gonna ask you a question on that lightning, map that you sent us yesterday. How does that compare in the last, as far as data for the last 5 years, specifically on Mesa Verde? Can you find that out? I mean, I know you don't have that right here, right now, but,
I may have some,
they track lightning data up there, and it's incredible.
yeah, and I've got some shape files, I think, from the last few years up there. We got hit pretty good, up there last month. And I know last year, similar, up on that mesa, it just really pops up there. But yeah, let me look it up. I'll send something out.
I think what a lot of people don't realize, that Commissioner Copenhagen and I were talking about it this morning, I mean, that's a pretty steep hill, and it runs off of there quickly,
Yes.
and it creates a lot of damage
Yep.
on that lower section.
They had,
So I was just curious.
waterfalls for the first time in, 60 years
Yeah.
off the mesa?
Yeah.
Yep. Those cells they weren't running through fast either.
Yeah.
They were hovering yesterday. Kind of made a mess.
It'd just be interesting if you have that,
Yeah.
just that data.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I'll research that.
Okay, let's see. the intergovernmental contract amendment number 4, and this was for the early childhood for the Department of Social Services. And again, I don't know if Kelly was coming down, but that's basically what this was, is another amendment to the contract. The bottom amount, Travis, if you'll,
It wasn't that much of it.
no, it was just an addition.
Yeah. They are.
I think that was the total was like 800, right? But this was just the addition. Okay. Well, anyway, this is for an amendment because they do have more money and they can get the additional funds if we sign the contract amendment for the early childhood development for the Department of Social Services. You guys have any other questions on that?
No.
Do you have that with you, or will that be coming via DocuSign?
I thought that it was, remember you said it doesn't fall, it needs to be signed. Because that is what we have to sign. It's just got the contractor and stuff to sign.
It just looks like Kelly is the only one that needs to sign it.
Okay.
Isn't it? I mean, you look at it, see.
Kelly is the only one that needs to sign this, guys. So just, yeah, make a motion to authorize her signature.
That's all I see on that also.
I move to allow our Social Service Director, Kelly Hargraves, to sign the cover page for the original contract number 22 IHIA 170688 as amended.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded to allow Kelly Hargraves, the Department of Social Services Manager, to sign the contract amendment number 4, the original contract number 22 IHIA 170688 for the Department of Social Services. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The last thing that we have was a decision related to the open fair board positions. We did not display those in public yesterday because we did not have the opportunity yet to get those advertised. We do have some applicants, but to be fair and transparent, we will advertise those for the fair board. We do have 4 open positions. Or was that actually 5? Because we did get another letter yesterday.
We have 5 applicants. I'm not sure how many openings. I'm gonna have to reach out and ask how many openings they actually have at this point. But we do need to re-advertise it.
Right.
Okay, so we will have no decision based on that today. They'll be going back out for re-advertisements and then hopefully to us in the next couple weeks. And with that, Ian, I'm gonna go to you and let you get off and get going to whatever else you need to do.
Yeah, so the biggest thing I have to report, we did get notice from the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals in our CO2 case. They have requested that the parties participate in a mandatory mediation. That mediation is going to be on on October 2nd at beginning at 9 a.m. If any of you guys would like to attend, you're certainly more than welcome to. Nate Keever will be attending. I'll be attending as well. I don't foresee any significant movement in that mediation, just given the posture of the case and given that the county did achieve a dismissal at the state court level. But you know, we certainly we'll see what's on the table and then go from there. Other than that, I don't really have a lot to report. I've been working on an MOU for that right of way, for the use of the right of way down on Road G between the Lamb House and the parking area. That's finalized and over to land management. So once they give the stamp of approval, we'll get that in front of you guys and go from there. Other than that, I don't have anything to report.
Okay, any questions for Ian?
No.
All right, Travis.
Not a lot to report. Done some backtracking, trying to find additional revenues. Attended a meeting regarding property tax last Monday. That was kind of interesting with La Plata County and can't remember the representative's name, but interesting. There's a couple of bills that might still affect us, so we'll just work through that. And that's the state balance, and it's $611 million general fund budget, and then a law enforcement ballot question. So that could affect some state revenues. And going to be meeting with the city tomorrow about animal shelter and advisory board. Hopefully we can come up with a joint plan there and work together. That's pretty much it, gentlemen. Did attend retirement for Judge Lawrence, and that was very nice. Hate to see her go.
All right. Commissioner Lindsay.
Yeah, like Travis said, we did attend the going away party, I guess, for Judge Lawrence, and also open house for the engineering firm over in the chamber. And also, all I had was, other than that, was city council meeting. They did a few financials and the special use permit, special events permit for the Montezuma Park, and approved a lease agreement for a hangar development down at the Cortez Airport, and appointed someone to the Forest Advisory Board, and that was about the size of the meeting and the end of my report.
All right, very good. Commissioner Copenafer.
Last week, like Kent said, we all attended the going away party for Judge Lawrence and the opening for the new engineering firm. I also attended the Mancos meeting on Wednesday evening. It was pretty short, not much on their agenda really. They did have one trustee resign, and they filled that position. Mr. Tokar resigned, and they had to fill that position, but other than that, there wasn't much on their agenda either, so that's about all I got.
Okay. Well, mine will be short also because everything has already been reported. I was with these gentlemen everywhere else, but one of the biggest things that I'm looking at is I did reach out to Lisa Poole, one of the aides in Durango, looking at our PILT funding, looking at the spreadsheets and looking at what the other counties of similar size and public lands, our PILT funding seems to be extremely low, and I just need some clarification on the formulas that they use and how that happened, because I mean, just comparing like Archuleta County to us, where there's $1 million difference. So chasing revenue is basically what I spent most of my time with and trying to reach out. But PILT's probably one of the biggest things because of the land mass that we have in Montezuma County that we receive PILT. We only received, it was just right at $200,000 for 2024, which if you do the math, we're basically getting nothing from PILT. So that I will take that task on, and I will be chasing that PILT funding because I think that we are being underpaid significantly. So
That's
all that I
understatement.
have to report.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn the September 16th, 2024 meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.